Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. I'm Hiral Dadia. Overall, if you go to see, it seems to be like a week of consolidation. From a global news flow perspective, China COVID 19 concerns do continue because clearly the economy is showing increasing strain from COVID tsunami. In fact, the economy has continued to slow in the month of December as the massive COVID 19 outbreak has spread across the country, with activity slumping as more people have planned to stay home to try and avoid getting sick or to recover. In fact, if you see the Shanghai port as well, which is the biggest container port, is isolating the shipment of international goods to prevent disruptions to global exports as a COVID wave has swept across the country. Overall, if you see China's Zhejiang, they have already had 1 million daily COVID cases, and the expectation is that it could double from here on. So, what's going to be the impact of the global markets is something we need to watch out for. So, that's coming in from China. If you see in terms of where overall global markets go, US home sales have dropped by a record 35% in the month of November. And this is mainly as the high mortgage rates have crippled the demand. And this is one of the biggest drop that we've seen since Redfin has actually started collecting the US home sales data in 2012. So that's going to be a crucial one to watch out for. And very lastly, from Europe, you have Putin, who's come out and said that Russia is ready to negotiate over Ukraine. However, Kiev has said that Moscow does not want to talk further on this. Now, how this war, which has started since quite some time, is going to end and whether it will put end to the worries overall is something we need to watch out for. Clearly, from a global market perspective, let's quickly look at the US markets as well. On Friday, you had S&P 500 as well as Nasdaq, which closed higher, but have fallen for a third consecutive week. And today, the markets will be closed as well. In terms of European markets as well, majority of them were down for a holiday and the ones which were open closed pretty much flat. If you look at Asian markets as well, in today's session, few of the markets which are opened have opened higher, as Japan and mainland China have taken center stage, and majority of the other markets are again closed for a holiday in today's session. So, in terms of global markets, you might not see too much of an action that will come and impact the domestic markets, because clearly, if you see SGX Nifty as well, that's indicating an up move to the tune of, I mean, around 25 to 30 points. So, a marginal positive start is what we could be expecting, but clearly the trend seems consolidation from here on or buy on dips. Very quickly, let's look at crude oil as well. Now, Russia has said that they may raise crude oil exports if EU bans and the cut in terms of refining. On the back of which, if you see Brent, that's up around 3.5% at around 83.92, whereas NYMEX is trading at levels of around 79. It's interesting to see how crude is not able to breach that level of $85 per barrel, and probably $80 to $85 per barrel is the range that we could be watching out for in terms of where crude oil is concerned. Moving from crude oil, if you see in terms of the domestic markets, clearly we are down around 5% from the record high levels that we achieved on the 1st of December in terms of Nifty as well as Sensex. And we've broken the psychological mark of 18,000 on Nifty and 60,000 on in terms of the Sensex. So from here on, the key question is, are traders actually trying to capitalize on the falling momentum by building shorts? Because overall, if you go to see, the VIX has risen sharply during the week. So there is a possibility that this week you could see some bit of short covering. There could be a buy on dips kind of a strategy. And the monthly expiry, which could add volatility to the Indian markets this week. So, an entire week of consolidation with volatility is something we could be eyeing, because overall, if you go to see, the DIIs have been smartly utilizing this correction during the month. Clearly, the DIIs inflow have stood at around 19,000 odd crores during the month, whereas the FIs have seen an outflow of around 8,500 odd crores. And that's something which is actually restricting the market rally. So, those two numbers are going to be crucial to watch out for. In terms of other factors, you have the resurgence of COVID cases that could be impacting global markets. Additionally, you have the fiscal deficit as well as the infrastructure output numbers for the month of November that will be eyed during the week. And from the global market perspective, you have the initial jobless claims in the US that the markets will be eyeing pretty closely. So these are three macro factors we will be watching out for. From a sector specific approach, BFSI, that's one sector which saw a good amount of selling pressure. So if there is a recovery in that sector or not is something we need to watch out for. Hotels, QSRs, as well as the airline sector on the back of the COVID impact has been struggling over the last 3 to 4 trading sessions. Whether that pressure continues or not, we need to watch. And pharma, which has seen a good amount of up move. Whether that sector sees a profit booking in today's session, we need to eye out for pharma as a sector. Let's quickly jump to the stocks that will be in focus today. NDTV, you have promoters Pranoy Roy and Radhika Roy who will be selling 27.26% stake to RRPR Holding, giving Adani Group control over 64.71% shares of the company. So watch out for NDTV and the Adani Group stocks. Alchem Laboratories, the company has sold 8% post money shareholding in the subsidiary, which is Enzene Biosciences, for around 162 odd crores. So that's going to be a stock that will be in focus as well. Quest Corp, interestingly, has withdrawn the scheme of amalgamation of Allsec Technologies with Self. Now, they've not really come out and given any concrete reason and just stated its market conditions. So let's see how Quest Corp remains in, reacts and trade. There could be some bit of a, trading pressure on that counter. Infibeams could be see a positive reaction in today's session on the back of the license that they've received, which is a perpetual license from the RBI for its bill payments business, that is Bill Avenue. On the back of an order win, you have SJVN, an order win of around 100 megawatts in the wind power project. And this is at a price of 2.90 per unit. In fact, earlier in May 2022, you had NTPC Renewables, Halvad Renewables, JSW Neo, Torrent Power, who had won wind power projects at the rate between 2.89 to 2.94, and SJVN has won it at 2.9. Tata Motors will be in focus as well because their subsidiary has signed a definitive agreement with Delhi Transport Corporation for operating 1,500 electric buses in Delhi for 12 years. Other stocks will be United Breweries, wherein the NCLT has upheld the CCI order imposing a 751 crore fine on the company over charges of price coordination in, the beer market segment. HDFC has received a $400 million loan from International Finance Corporation. So watch out for that counter as well. E-clerks will be trading X buyback. One of the big names that will be in focus today as well overall will be RIL. Post the acquisition news of Metro, we've seen a lot of brokerage upgrades that have come in with Reliance Industries. So let's see if that is one stock that will be contributing to the up move or the positivity in terms of the markets today. Siemens as well, we'd already heard of the 26,000 crore contract to make 1,200 electric locomotives for the railway in the first week of December. But now the railway has issued an LOA, which is definitive for 26,000 odd crores. So there could be some bit of an up move that could come in Siemens in today's session. So these are the stocks we will be watching out for. And from a primary market perspective, you have Radiant Cash Management. The IPO has been subscribed by a mere 0.04 times on day one. Apart from that, you have Sa Polymers, will be the last public issue for the current calendar year, and that will be opening for subscription on the 30th of December to the 4th of January. From a listing perspective, you have KFin Technologies that will be making a debut on the 29th of December, and Ellen Electronics that will be hitting the bourses on the 30th of December. So that's an overall perspective from what the markets are expected to look like. But clearly, the indication is there could be high amount of volatility on the back of expiry today. On top of that, if you see in terms of no major global markets could come and impact the Indian markets in today's session on the back of the Christmas and New Year's holidays that we have been witnessing. And whether buy on dips is the strategy that the DIIs and the retail investors will adopt to is something we need to watch out for, because there could be some bit of short covering as well that could be witnessed. That's all that we have in today's session. Thanks for watching.